As they entered the stables, Anne stumbled. Joseph caught her in his arms, his hands touching her bosom as she fell. Her nipples were hard and upright. He had an erection like never before, his lips pressed on her bosom. As he lifted her up, she sighed, but did not object. God, what to do next? The buttons. Undo the buttons. Still no objection. He laid her on the hay, wanting to see her naked body. Anne closed her eyes as he caressed her breast, his tongue licking her nipple and suckling as an infant would. She groaned with pleasure. Her husband had never touched her like this. He was so boring, and it was her duty just to comply with what he wanted. Joseph removed her last piece of clothing. She lay naked in front of him. He wondered if she knew this was his first time and if he was pleasing her. Before he could think about another thing, she had pulled him on top of her body and was caressing him. In all his imagination, he never knew such thrills. Her lips moved slowly down his body. Oh God, what was she going to do? And then there was ecstasy. He penetrated her and her hands moved down his spine to his buttocks, her fingers thrilling him beyond his wildest dreams. Once sated, they lay in each other's arms for hours without saying a word. In the background came the sound of horses and carriages moving. They suddenly realised that a great deal of time must have passed if people were leaving the reception. They dressed quickly and decided to tell the others that Anne had had a headache and didn't want to interrupt the party, so she left quietly and had Joseph drive her carriage home. In fact, she drove the carriage home, giving Joseph time to have walked home from her place with nobody being the wiser. A short time later, when Matthew and Jonathan saw Joseph walking up the old side road, Matthew yelled out in an angry voice, "Where the hell have you been all night? I hope you did not insult Anne Vanderburg, or there will be hell to pay." Joseph told a great tale of how he calmed Anne Vanderburg's stallion down and how she dismissed the coachman, which had upset her. She had a terrible headache, and after a short time at the reception, she asked him if he could drive the coach to her home. Then he walked back, which is what took so long. His brothers didn't say anything further, but they looked sceptical. When the last of the guests had departed, Matthew went to bed, claiming exhaustion. Jonathan poured himself a drink and confronted Matthew. "What's the real story, Joseph? Not the version you told Matthew." Joseph said he was just showing her the horses and then he hid after she left, as he did not want to go to the stuffy party. Jonathan told him not to do anything like that again because of the repercussions it would cause. Joseph agreed, but knew that the next chance he could steal away to see Anne again, he would. Joseph began plotting and planning every excuse possible to call on Anne. The horses would always be the best excuse. He told his father that his prize mare would be best put to the Vanderburg stallion. The season was about to start, and early in the season was the best time, so he should call on them and line it up. They would have the best foal in the land. There would be none better. His father's ego got the better of him and he agreed. Louis owed Joseph's father a number of favours, and this was a good opportunity to cash in on one of them. Joseph's father called Louis and arranged for Joseph to take the prize mare over to the Vanderburgs' property. On arrival, Joseph seized the moment and asked if Lady Vanderburg could show him the property. Louis said, "Of course, take 2 of my young horses. They need to be worked, and I've heard what a great horseman you are. You're welcome to come and ride my horses at any time." This gave Joseph the opportunity and excuse he was looking for. It could not have turned out better. Anne and Joseph began taking long rides together. On the very first ride, she took him to a place on the property that was rarely visited. There was an abandoned cottage overgrown with weeds. She said that she had never ventured in on any of her rides alone, as it was a bit scary. It had a holding area for milking cows, which was handy to hold the horses while they explored the cottage. Joseph pulled the door open and they entered. It was old and dusty, but it excited both of them to find a hideaway just for them. In the corner of the room was an ancient chest. In a childlike manner, Joseph said, "Let's open it. Maybe we'll find a treasure inside and we can run away together." What will be in the chest? Will Anne and Joseph find a treasure to enable them to start a new life together? To learn more of Wantonness, go to www.AnnetteKontoleonauthor.com.